My fiancé joked to my mom that he got me pregnant, and my mom burst out laughing and said either I'm about to get rich or I grew a new uterus, and that's when my fiancé found out I had a hysterectomy years ago. Posted by you/throwaway_if up. So I'm late 20s F, and my fiancé, early 30s M, let's call him Carlos, are still fighting about this, and it was already 2 weeks ago. When I was 21 F, I had a partial hysterectomy due to adenomyosis. It was very painful, and my doctor spent 2 years fighting for the approval because many people were against the idea. I didn't mind losing my uterus because 1. It was very painful, and 2. I was always child-free, and even as a kid I didn't like kids. I met Carlos 3 years ago. I told him on day 1 that I was child-free and completely sterile. He said he was child-free too, so we went ahead with the relationship. He proposed in September, and we started slowly planning the wedding. I never told him about the hysterectomy itself. I did not hide it on purpose, and it honestly just slipped my mind because I already told him I could not get pregnant. My mom did not know about the engagement because she was out of the country taking care of her elderly sister, and I wanted to tell her in person. She came back 3 weeks ago. After she rested for a week, we invited her to lunch so we could tell her about it. Carlos is a prankster but not the weird kind, and while we were eating and before I could show my mom the ring, he grabbed her hand and said, "I am sorry, Mrs. My Mom, I got your daughter pregnant." My mom burst out laughing, looked at me, and said either you are about to get rich or you grew a new uterus. I laughed too and said I hope not because I had to talk to half the doctors in the country and their grandmas the first time. Carlos stared at me and said, "What do you mean?" My mom said the hysterectomy, of course. Carlos said he had never heard about it. My mom laughed again and asked how he did not know. I said I guess I never brought it up because I do not think about it anymore. We were quiet for a second, then I showed my mom the ring and we celebrated. After she left, Carlos confronted me, and he asked why I never told him about the surgery. I told him I had told him the important part, which was that I was sterile. He said the issue was the principle, and if I could keep something so big to myself for years, what else could I hide? I feel like that is unfair for me, and I shared the relevant part at the moment, and later I just didn't think about it. I was not trying to keep secrets, and I simply didn't think the medical details were relevant once we already agreed on being child-free. So now we want outside opinions. Am I the jerk for not telling him about the hysterectomy, or is he overreacting? He has read this post and approved it, so this is not only my point of view. Edit 1, I came back and there were so many responses. I'll make a quick edit to clarify some things. How did you forget to tell him this? It was a very traumatic experience, and everyone and their mother looked at my vagina, actually my uterus. I felt embarrassed for a long time and pushed the experience deep enough till I forgot about it. Why didn't you tell him? At first because I wasn't about to trauma dump on a dude I'd known for 2 hours, and I'm just a very quiet person. On our first date I said maybe 50 words, and I'm more talkative now, at least with him, but I like my privacy and to keep things that feel deeply personal just to myself unless it's relevant to something. Edit 2, 10 hours later. Hey, now that we have time to read some of the responses together, we want to clarify some other things. Carlos, did you know the difference between sterile and fertile? Apparently not, and I thought it was the same, both meaning not able to have babies. How did he not notice she didn't have a period? To be fair, we haven't been living together for that long, 5 months, and he thought I had PCOS like his sister. Are you really child-free, or did you think you'll change her mind after the wedding? No, I am child-free and was even thinking about getting a vasectomy just to be even more safe. How didn't he notice any scars, hormone therapy, and so on? Well, I don't have any scars, and the procedure was done vaginally, so the scarring is on the inside. I don't need hormones, at least not yet, and I still have my ovaries and they're healthy at the moment. And for the people saying that I should have told him just in case of an emergency, you're right, and I honestly never thought about that part. We'll update once we had our session with the couples counselor because I feel there are things that are better to discuss with a professional. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, I'm now left wondering what Op classifies as a weird joke, if this seems normal to her. Op's response, to be fair, my cousin almost broke my nose as a prank once, so I thought a stupid joke wasn't that serious. It wasn't on purpose. He tried to push me onto a mattress, but I fell face first and my nose bled. What I'm saying is a stupid pregnancy prank seemed like a non-issue in perspective of other pranks I experienced. Commenter 2, and his anger now gives me the real creeps. Op's response, to be fair, he is not big man scary mean angry, just quiet and pouty. Commenter 3, he approved this post also smacks of controlling. Op's response, I didn't mean it that way, and more like I'm not admitting something that might change if people think I'm the jerk or not. Remembering things or remembering to tell people things about me has never been my strongest quality, to be honest. There are things I didn't even tell my mom because it seems unimportant enough at the moment, and then I just forgot about them. Commenter 4, I think you're right, thank you. I know I can be a little distant, and it's something I'm constantly working on. I try to not let him out of things that years ago I probably just kept to myself, but this is simply something my mom, my best friend, and I, don't talk about. Commenter 5, what's partial about a missing uterus, which indeed is a hysterectomy? Removing tubes and ovaries is a salpingo-oophorectomy. Carlos has a weird humor given his remark to your mom. My question, if you told him you were sterile, why didn't Carlos ask how you could be so sure? Something doesn't add up here. Ops response, I don't know, and partial hysterectomy is what's written on the report, and I wasn't always so willing to answer his question at the beginning. He asked about my dad, and I just said I didn't want to talk about it, and months later I decided to talk about it. Maybe he didn't want to upset me? We'll talk more about it in therapy for sure. I had to convince doctors I won. Wasn't lying or faking it. 2. I wasn't going to regret it. 3. That I was mentally okay enough to take that decision, and 4. That there wasn't any other less invasive procedure or meds we could try. Commenter 6, he had 0 questions about your total lack of menstrual periods? Update, 6 days later. We had our session yesterday, and I think I'm ready to post an update and clarify some things. We decided to write it from my point of view because we tried doing it from both of ours, and it was confusing to understand. First of all, for the people who said that since I still have my ovaries we can still have kids, what is wrong with y'all? That's not how child-free people work. We don't want children, period. For the people asking why I don't have any scars, I don't know what to tell you. It's not something I want to discuss with anyone, but they made an incision in my belly button. We decided not to talk much about any of this until we were with a therapist, and some things came to light. The first thing Carlos did was apologize and explain why he was so upset. He said he wasn't really mad at me for not telling him, but he was hurt because it felt like for a long time he had to force information out of me. When I finally started sharing things willingly, he was excited and thought we were on the same page about everything, but when he found out about the surgery, he felt insecure and like an outsider because it felt like it was always my mom and me and then him. He also said he felt embarrassed and dumb because he assumed what sterile meant and ran with it instead of asking for an explanation. He said it was more insecurity than anything, and he apologized again for how he handled his feelings instead of communicating with me. He also apologized for the pregnancy joke and said he was anxious because he really likes and respects my mom, but he wasn't sure if she accepts him, and in a moment of nervousness he tried to lighten the mood with a joke that failed horribly. For my part, I also apologized for not sharing this with him and for being so cold and distant sometimes. I told him I love him so much, and I really want to spend the rest of my life with him, and I reassured him that I will always tell him things about me even if they don't seem very exciting or important. After our session, we went home and shared every single stupid thing about each other so there are no more secrets. I knew almost all of them because Carlos is Mr. Oversharer, but I found out he broke his little toe when he was 7, and he was surprised that I still have all 4 of my wisdom teeth intact. We decided to postpone the wedding planning until the holiday season is over and just enjoy everything, then start over in January. I called my mom, and she's coming over for dinner on Sunday so we can redo the whole engagement announcement. I know a lot of people told me I wasn't in the wrong and that I didn't owe him any explanation. I think some privacy is always necessary in any relationship, but I want to feel close to him too, and it's not like I was really hiding things on purpose, so I don't mind sharing if it makes him feel the love I have for him. I think that's all. We really appreciate all the input and the different perspectives we got here. We'll continue with couples counseling for as long as it takes. Happy holidays to y'all. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, a relationship saved by honest communication? I think Reddit must be broken. Ops response, they did tell me to break up though, lol. Commenter 2, I hope it works out. But after reading your first post, it was a major jerk move for Carlos to joke with your mom about getting you pregnant. He doesn't know how she feels about the fact she'll never get a grandmother. I didn't read closely, but I hope to heck he apologized profusely and rethinks this whole prankster thing. It's not a good look. Ops response, I understand your point, but he didn't mean to cause any harm, and people make mistakes, and I'm pretty sure my mom is over not having grandkids because I'm child-free since I'm like 15. Well, they didn't take out the uterus through my belly button, and I just said I had an incision there.